That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
What?
Sorry, I'm sharing it
You're doing what?
What's up?
sharing the live to our Facebook group because it doesn't let you post to groups anymore because Facebook is dumb.
They changed that.
Yeah, you can't live stream straight to a group anymore. Now you have to share it to the group.
Oh, well, that's not very nice.
No. So, but that's all right. We got her shared. What is going on, everybody? Fishing Friday Live. Welcome. We took a week off last week. We all had a bunch of stuff going on. It was Trey's wife's birthday. It was I had some family stuff. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, and my parents are out there eating dinner with her right now while I am doing this because I'm dedicated. So, welcome back to the One Cats. Make sure you check out all those that are scrolling across the bottom. We talk about them every week. Terry Carpenter, licensed realtor here in NC, Carolina Waters, Deep Dive app, Hobie Eyewear for sure. Use the link in all of our descriptions and all of that. Grab yourself a pair of those floating frames. One Cast Fishing, get you some snagless jigs, long neck hooks, weedless nets, all the soft plastics. Codes are the One Cast for most stuff. Hobie Eyewear, use the link. And Terry Carpenter, just tell him we sent you. You don't have to. He's going to treat you like family, whether you tell him or not. But we sure would appreciate it if you do reach out to him and you heard of him through us. So doing a little bit quick on our live this week because we usually, we usually go through those and it takes a little bit. But not a ton of stuff to talk about in the fishing world. A little bit of drama, angler created drama, and we can talk about that a little bit. I know Trey wanted to talk about it some. Bass Nation, somebody's going to get a chance to go fish the Elite Series by winning that Bass Nation Championship, and it looks like I can't think. Is the guy's name Tripp?
I thought his name Nick, and he's up by like 3 pounds.
Nick Trim. He's led all 3 days. He continues to lead through day 3, so he's a day away from Elite Series berth. And hey, Chris, how are you? And Tim, what's going on, brother? Elite Series berth. I'm not positive. I think the top 3 get classic berths, but I have to go back and look. I can't remember exactly how they break that out now. But pretty exciting to go that way. Obviously, a friend of the show, Matty Wong, made it to the Elite Series that way. No longer fishing it. Good article on him that he posted on his socials. It was written by one of the newspapers or something back in Hawaii, kind of talking about his future. So, yeah. Other than that, Trey, you want to talk about what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean we can definitely open it.
You want to just go right into
it? Yeah, I eventually I wanted to talk about how tough fishing is, how tough fishing can be this time of year too. That's why I was holding a One Cast Fishing snagless swim jig because that was something that you got on today. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. This is we get a lot of the fishing world, the world in general gets a lot of noise, man. And the fishing world's no stranger to that. It's a small community. Whether, it's Bass, MPFL, Major League Fishing, or the Alabama Bass, it doesn't matter, right? There's a lot of noise in the fishing industry, especially in the last couple of years. But a lot of these organizations, I'll give them credit where credit is due. Like they're trying to adjust things the best that they can for their business model. In no way, shape, or form did you hear the word like cater to the angler, right? Or they're doing things to it. When you talk about business development and creating business models, of course your anglers or your consumers and stuff are part of the equation, but they're not the only thing necessary for businesses to grow and prosper and set the tone to have the right culture and things like that. So I wanted to preface like what we're going to talk about here. And what I'm really talking about is if you haven't ever went to the National Professional Fishing League's official website, they do a really great job. Ken Duke and the anglers and Brad Fuller and the rest of the crew that gets an opportunity, they put out messages, right? Whether or not it's talking about fishing, or like Ben was just talking about before the show, Chad Marler, talked about his journey into fishing. But before that, he was in the military in the 82nd Airborne. So, the NPFL's website alone is one opportunity, or one outlet for anglers to share information and get their messages out there and stuff, and then maybe get them a little bit of highlight and stuff like that. And then there's the hundreds of different other ways to do it, right? Social media, YouTube, so on and so forth, fishing shows, you name it, right? TikTok, all that crap. But what I think is important to note, what Brad Fuller is talking about in this article, is he talks about moving on and up in 2026. And now I have no idea why this message to everyone came out on their website, but I can only imagine that I would not want to be in Brad Fuller's shoes. I would not want to be the president of a fishing organization, because I see Pete and Ben, you guys can attest to this. Like, it's a tough business to be in, because you literally have so many different individual brands that are trying to get what they want, so because it's best for them, right? And a lot of people don't care about the business side of it. They care about what's best for them. And I get it. But Brad and the NPFL is a business, and they need to care about what's best for them. And a lot of times that doesn't coincide with other people's ways of thinking and stuff like that. So, I'll hit a couple highlights of it, right? And the article goes to say, it's funny how often words get tossed around, usually by the same folks who seem to forget what it actually means. They'll preach sunshine, they'll preach that positivity and yada, 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 but then they'll do the exact opposite, and they will drag people through the mud and so on and so forth. And the article goes on to say, and quote, "Let me be clear, we do not owe anyone a job, right? We do not owe anyone a spotlight. We don't owe them a platform. They bring on people who show up, do their job, and add value, right? So that's a good business model, because he's not saying everyone's entitled to everything, right? It's either you do well and you get recognized for it, or you don't do well, and that's on you, right? Because at the end of the day, you're gambling on yourself, and if you do well, then that makes the NPFL look good, and it makes you look good, and they're going to give you coverage for it, and they're going to give you opportunities to publish articles and so on and so forth. And if you don't, then you don't, right? And so I think it's important for the greater audience to understand, especially anglers, right? Like, anglers just want. And I get it, because it's expensive. But at the end of the day, nobody owes you nothing. They don't owe you anything. You literally made the choice to be there, and you can take your business somewhere else if you don't like it. The last thing I'll say on that is opportunities. They can only create so many opportunities for you, right? Because everything costs money. So that's, if a camera's in your boat, that means you're doing well. If you're being highlighted on the website, well, that's probably because you coordinated with them and you have something interesting to talk about. Everything else, they can't do your social media for you. They can't do your YouTube for you. They can't hunt your sponsors down for you. They can't do these types of things that, like a regular, let's say the NFL with their big endorsement contracts and Nike and Reebok and all these things, they can do those things. But fishing can't do that, man. So at the end of the day, you go in there and you either have a good hand and you do well and you walk out with some cash, or you don't. But I think people shouldn't expect that don't do well. They shouldn't expect the NPFL or any other organization to give them praise when they're mediocre or less with performance. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that they don't like you. It just means the return on investment for them to highlight you isn't there compared to somebody that either wins or top 10 all the time and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that up because, man, you see it here at the local level, you see it at the regional level, you see it at the national level, and it's like, and we're not on the inside of it. So I'm just providing my perspective on the way that I interpreted the article, but it's very like just down and dirty, clear and concise and candid. Hey, do well, we got you. Don't do well, we still got you, but we're not going to highlight you. We don't owe you anything. You chose to be here. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to add. I fully agree with you. Like, I thought it was a straightforward statement. I think it's one that more leagues need to make, probably. And nothing against any of the anglers. We have plenty of friends that do this and fish for, fish the bigger circuits. And it's a hard pill to swallow, I think, when you're paying that kind of money. But it's the reality of it. Like, you're not owed anything other than the ability. I shouldn't even say ability, the opportunity to compete. When you pay your entry fee, you're provided an opportunity to compete within that organization. And I know sometimes words get mixed and things are said and they're interpreted one way, and maybe not meant that way. But at the end of the day, the only thing you're guaranteed when you pay an entry fee is the opportunity to fish. And if you want these leagues, no matter what it is, to highlight you, then you've got to provide a product that is worth highlighting. Mm-hmm. And just showing up and fishing may not be worth the highlight. And again, that's a hard thing to swallow. And I don't think I could go out there. I'm not saying I can go out there and compete or do any better than anybody, but at the end of the day, they gotta promote what is selling, and catching fish and winning tournaments and doing well is what sells in tournament bass fishing. Again, it's tough to hear, but I know there was a lot of hurt feelings, and we had talked about it internally and thought it was a good opportunity to kind of discuss our thoughts on it. And there's a lot of podcasts I'm sure going to talk about it, but
the last thing I'll say on it is, from the angler side, man, like, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you. Like, if Pete and Ben don't like me, but we're in business together, we're gonna do our business, right? Doesn't mean we have to hang out on the weekends. Doesn't mean they need to invite me over for dinner, or I get upset if they don't. Like, at the end of the day, if you're fishing for an organization and you don't like what somebody says, then you don't have to fish there, or it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, like, even if you don't like the article that's being published, if you're still willing to bet on yourself, like, separate the emotions from the equation. Just go out there and objectively fish. And if you do well, you do well. They can't, nothing's going to stop you from not getting a check if you place within check range. You know what I mean? So people just get so wrapped around feelings and emotion. And it's like, you do realize that, like, emotions don't make money. Good business decisions make money. And that if that results in you just having nothing more than a transactional relationship, then that's fine. But if it develops into a friendship or something later on, cool. That's always an added bonus. But, like, I wouldn't expect, if I go fish bass, right? Let's just say I go fish bass and they say, hey, we don't owe you anything. I'll be like, yep, you're right. You don't owe me crap. I volunteered to be here. Right. And if I win, I win. And if I don't, I don't. I'm not mad at them. It's my responsibility. You know what I mean? So anyways, enough on that.
Yep. Ben, you want to add anything?
No, well, not on that, but kind of, I guess, maybe along the same lines that you guys started, something we brought up the other day. I don't think there's been any official word put out by Bass, but pretty strong rumors out that they're going to prevent anglers from doing their own private live streams. So I know Zaldane does it. Matty Robinson does it. A couple of other guys do it. Someone rigged up Starlinks last year so they could stream, the whole time, because there's only so many boats, camera boats, at any given time, or I guess cameras for the boats. And of course, that's caused some angler frustrations too. But I don't know what you guys think about them banning the personal live stream.
I mean, I think I
forgot
think
Ben wasn't here last Fishing Friday Live when we talked about this. So,
yeah, go ahead, Pete.
We can give our quick opinions, and then we'll let Ben give his. So my opinion, Ben, and we had some. You can ask a question, Chris. We'll get to it as soon as we can. We're going to talk about this real quick. My opinion is, since I have to go back and look again, but since about 1997, when you sign a contract to fish BASS, you sign over all media rights and the rights to all photos, pictures, videos, everything taken at the time. You don't have any reasonable expectation to be able to stream live and promote sponsors that aren't bass sponsors doing a bass sponsored event. I'm sure there's legality to fight that back and forth, but at the end of the day, we remember Bass. For me, Bass is a business, and they're doing what they have to do to protect their business. They have paying sponsors that are paying to have commercials and commercial breaks and being talked about during the live stream. When you have guys just out there running around showing the product for free, even though it's just the one boat, it kind of takes away from those folks that have paid money. So I understand Bass's point. I also understand the frustration from the anglers, because it was an opportunity for them to promote themselves and get new eyes and new sponsors and things like that. So that my opinion was, I understand why they're doing it. And it's a kind of a hard thing to fight, because you do sign something basically stating you don't have the rights to anything. That includes your own GoPro footage, pictures you take on your cell phone, whether they're not allowed to have their phones, pictures that your marshals take, videos your marshals take. That's all BASS's. So it's kind of a difficult situation, and there's ways around it. We talked about it, like earlier. But
What's
go
up,
ahead,
Nick?
Trey.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care either way. I think that I think it was a great effort on the anglers that actually did it, because we all know that there's a lot of anglers that lack in the realm of marketing and social media, and they have only themselves to blame for that. So I definitely give kudos to like Zaldane and Matt Robertson and all those guys that maybe those guys can't afford like a camera crew to like go around with them and like create those really cool products on the backside, like Polyneck and Scott Martin and stuff like that. So they maybe took a different approach to it. Like, hey, I want to get personal with it and let my audience ride with me for the day. So I think that was a great way to get creative. It does suck that they can't do it. But I also understand why it could be a conflict of interest, or it is a conflict of interest for Bass. I mean, it's like going into a movie theater and recording a movie on your phone. You're not supposed to do that. Apparently I never do that, but anyways, so yeah, it does suck. I'm curious to see if, their ABP, their angler board or whatever it is, maybe puts that up for debate with Bass at some point. But at the end of the day, like, Bass does give you an opportunity to promote those sponsors. They give you the opportunity on stage. They give you the opportunity, during conversations. I mean, Mercer has a podcast that he always has all those Elite Series anglers on. Not that that's affiliated with Bass. He does Mercer in the morning. So there's a lot of opportunities for those guys to do that. It just, it does suck for them, but I also see why Bass is doing it. That's my opinion. What do you think, Ben?
So I think it's what's particularly interesting is that the 2025 angler agreement allowed anglers to live stream. It's explicitly in there, unless they have an official camera boat.
Okay.
I mean, not camera boat. An official camera in the boat. It actually says during the tournament series, the right to create, use, and publish angler created materials, such as still photos and videos shot by the angler, solely on the angler's website and social media channels. Angler may also live stream during a tournament, except when Bassmaster Live has a camera in the angler's boat. Bass reserves the right to revoke this permission anytime in his discretion, right? They have that in there.
There you go.
In such event, anglers should probably cease from live streaming. So, I think, so I guess my opinion on this is there's a reason why Bass is doing this.
Sure.
All their great numbers that they were touting earlier in the year, I think, are Fugazi. Fugazi. They're not really, they weren't as good as we thought.
Yeah.
Because Zaldane and I think one live stream that I think he had like 40,000 views on for one of the tournaments. So that's a lot of eyeballs that are not going on Bass's official channels, which means less eyeballs, less advertising dollars. So yeah, it totally makes sense from a business perspective. But it does make me from a legal perspective, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's any antitrust issues here. I mean, his name, image, and likeness. I mean, so it's just the anglers are doing something to grow the sport, which is what their fans want. They're independent contractors. Bass gets them to sign away all these rights, and they don't compensate them for them. There's no compensation for the name, image, and likeness of these anglers unless they cash a check in a tournament. But so yeah, I mean, I guess it's too bad. If anglers want to live stream, I wish they could live stream, but I guess you got to do it for the business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely wasn't a huge group of them. I think last year was the first year that we saw live streaming.
I think there was
at least that I can remember. Yeah, there was like I think Logan Parks live stream.
Oh, yeah, Logan Park,
Matt Robertson and Zaldane, maybe another guy or so, but there wasn't really a huge group out of like the 104 that were doing it. And last year was the first year that I can recall. I don't think it happened or this year was the first year. I don't think it happened in 2024. I could be dead wrong. And so it sucks for those few anglers that were doing it. But at the same time, you can't, excuse me, like some teams aren't going to let like Nike and Reebok be on the same jersey because it's a conflict of interest, right? I know it's not the same. It could be apples to oranges, but yeah, I agree with you on that too, man. Name, image, and likeness. I totally agree with you on that. And there is no compensation for them using you. But unfortunately you signed that contract.
Well, so that was the big thing with college athletes is when they sign their, contract or to go play for the schools as an amateur, that they had given up all those rights, and they would get suspended or punished if anyone got caught they were paying. Of course, the Supreme Court ruled, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's why they got the NIL and all that stuff now in college sports. So it's particularly interesting. There'll be no lawsuits or anything because it's not worth it.
But maybe the ABP will talk about it. Maybe they'll get off that forward facing sonar thing, which Chris Curtis asked a question. He said there's no scope for next year. He doesn't know if that's true or not. Chris, for the Bassmaster Elite Series, there is forward facing sonar allowed in the events that they chose, flipping a coin, and then there's no forward facing sonar in the other events that weren't landed on tails or whatever. I don't know how it went down, right? So if you go to Bassmaster's website, you can look at their 2026 schedule. It will tell you which ones are forward facing sonars allowed and which ones aren't. And then for
the first one at Gunnersville is not.
Yeah. And then the other leagues, Chris, have different rules. Bassmaster Opens is 50-50 for both divisions. And then I don't know about the elite qualifiers. MPFL, no. Major League Fishing, they have different rules in all of their different tiered
they're still doing that period,
they're for the pro circuit, you're allowed to use it for like 3 hours a day. right? And then for the Toyota Series, I think the same thing. And then the BFLs, I think the same thing. I have no idea how they're going to police it, but that's not my problem. So
Yeah.
a lot of different, but here's the thing, right? Like, I know a lot of people get all bent out of shape with changes and stuff, but like some of these organizations, I think are spearheading change. And then some of these organizations are changing because
what's up, Jeff? Happy Friday.
Because others are changing. Right. So, whatever's best for their business, man. You want to fish it. You don't.
Really. See you guys next weekend. I take that means you're coming to Take a Warrior fishing. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
I'll be in Rhode Island.
What about Pete's OnlyFans compensation?
Yeah, Trey still won't give me my money for that. It's a little bit. He's using my name, likeness, and image in OnlyFans, and he won't provide me with any of the money that he's earning.
How do you guys know what Pete's lower back tattoo really looks like?
Yeah,
like let's not even front here.
Yeah, I might take you to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, take it up there, dude. You got all those Supreme Court justices that can't agree to disagree.
Well, they're not getting paid anyway because the government shut down. So
that's true, but they're still multi-gajillionaires. Yeah.
Awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you, man. We'll be there. We'll be there bright and early. If you don't follow us on socials, go check out our socials. We got a little surprise for everybody. Pretty excited about getting those out on the water for the first time. Actually, Trey, I'm putting a video I'm about to send you that I think is going to be pretty cool. So, but yeah, we looking forward to that event, and then quick turnaround for this SOBA tournament up at Lake Norman.
Yeah,
it's a busy couple weeks coming, and then we've got a board away weekend where we do a bunch of meeting and planning for next year. The following weekend, that's at Lake Gaston, and so we'll be up there fishing and meeting and doing all that stuff. So,
yeah,
we could have a comedy show. Trey was sending me some videos last night that he was taking throughout the last little bit, and it's pretty funny.
Dude, I'm telling you, and when we were growing, when we first started this show, I would sit there, and I'm really good about like sneakily recording people. And so the one video, Ben, I'll send it to you. One video of Pete is when he's sitting here by himself. I think you're over there and I'm sitting right here, and I'm secretly recording him, and he's trying to do the sponsor plugs. And he's like, he does the sponsor plugs fine, but there's some really like funny stuff at the very end. So it would be funny to compile like all those videos and stuff. Remember the one like I'm beeping Warm Boys? That one was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been fun, man. Like we still have a lot of fun, but in the nascent stages of the show, man, we were all trying to figure it out, and we're still trying to figure it out, but we don't have any issues, in my opinion, speaking to the group. So one more week. Ha! Who said that?
Brad? Is that Brad?
Brad said one more week. I can't talk. I'm not going to talk on that right now. I appreciate it, Brad. And,
Trey's talking about this whole
bottom line up front. Yeah. He was told more than 1 week.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
But maybe it is 1 week.
It changes every day. Might be sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah. same but different. Yeah, we'll see, man. But I appreciate it, Brad. I picked up my retirement certificate, my wife's retirement appreciation, and the letter from the president and stuff like that. So it was really cool to get that stuff, only to get a phone call and then maybe change everything. So it's all whatever.
Tim, if we could remember to run GoPros, we would have some high quality H2O footage.
But, yeah, there's going to be a lot of GoPro running this year for sure.
Yeah, I got to get mine fixed.
You talked about getting out on the water today, which I'm sitting here looking at a swim jig and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to talk. We talked fall fishing and how good it can be.
We also talk about how bad it can or tough,
but it can be really, really tough. And we went out for a few hours today just to just to get the boats, burn some gas, make sure everything was working properly, take some videos and stuff like that. And man, it was tough. Like that's, hey mom from Kalamazoo. It was super, super tough. And
the water
there,
turned over?
yeah, the water has, I believe it has. But here's the thing to remember about fall fishing. It is awesome. Like it is awesome. However, you need to realize that there will be days in the fall that are absolutely brutal. And one of the reasons that I think that is, well, I know why it is because the fish can go anywhere. They can literally go anywhere. The thermocline, we talked about it before, is gone, and oxygen's evenly dispersed throughout the water, and bait's moving around, and pressure's still on the lake a little bit, and it's just one of those times a year where you got to stay on the move. And there was actually a pretty cool article. I'm not going to read it all, but
real quick, Chris, he asked about the scope thing. I just want to, so the coin they went each tournament and they flipped a coin, and one side was forward facing, one side was no forward facing. And that's how they determined.
Correct.
So that's when you hear people talk about the coin, that's what it is. But go ahead, Trey.
One side of the
anyways,
coin had a spotlight.
Maybe they'll raffle that coin off at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. That'd be kind of cool. Easy fall bass fishing tips to catch more fish. And this is on bassresource.com. And I'm not gonna go into the details, but one of the headlines is keep it moving, right? We talk about that all the time. Stay on the move and search for the fish. And I can tell you we did that a lot today. We still caught fish. Don't get me wrong. I caught a really good one, I caught a 4.5 pounder. Pete caught multiple 2 pounders. Like we actually, we were in different boats, but like at the end of the day, we would have actually had a good tournament day if we would have caught all those out of a boat. But outside of that, like it was hard to find them. And when you found them, it was such a small window in a small area that, it was just hard to find them and catch them. So keep it moving. Definitely. Here's another thing, ultra shallow or ultra deep, right? I literally fished the dirt today. And then I literally fished 25 to 30 foot of water with forward facing sonar. I did both, and I caught fish in both areas. Now, the thing about that is for fall fishing, you're going to see caliber of fish play big time. Out deep, you could be catching your bigger fish. Up shallow, you could be catching your bigger fish. So I guess the name of the game in the fall is sample as much as you absolutely can until you lock down a pattern. If you're on a pattern lake, right? And one of the baits, and I'll let Pete go into this, but one of the baits that was really important today was a swim jig. And you want to kind of talk about like what your plan was going into today and then how you adjusted because of the lack of bites.
Yeah, so I plan on throwing a daggum whopper plopper all day because we've been mashing them on it. And so I had a little milk run that I found on the lake we were on that had been producing the last 7 times I fished it, and fished that whole stretch, and I think got 2 bites. It just wasn't happening. So, that water wasn't super clean, but it wasn't dirty, if that makes sense. So we fished that for a little bit. And then I was like, went and hit another little spot, little cleaner water, didn't get bit. We got 2 bites there, but they were little. So then I was like, I'm going to make a long run way up the lake and into a creek that I know is dirty and just see if I can get dirty water. Sometimes dirty water, you can get them to bite. And that didn't take long to figure out that wasn't the deal. So I started running back down the lake, and I had a little micro pocket that had a bunch of bank grass that I'd caught them in before. And I was like, I'm going to swing in this pocket and hit it real quick. I'm going to fish this grass and just see. And I picked up a swim jig, and I think my third cast with a white swim jig, I caught one. And I was like, all right. and proceeded to go through there and fish that grass and figure it out. It was very specific how the grass had to be set up, what it needed to look like, how the wind had to be hitting it. But every little section of grass that I hit, I got bit. It wasn't always a bass. We caught a few pickerel too, but the fish were definitely set up on that very particular, it had to be in the sun. It had to be wind pushing into it or across it. If there was no wind on it, they were probably in it, but they weren't eating. Had to be a white swim jig. You had to get it to come through the grass the right way. If it was getting hung up and stuff, they didn't want to eat it, like popping off the grass. It was pretty specific. But once I figured it out, like it was later in the day, we ran it and were able to put some fish in the boat. So that was good. And then Trey, you were kind of opposite with the old plopper. You landed on a stretch where they wanted to eat it.
Yep. Yeah. 100%, man. I actually pulled in, the area I started in was really clean water. And this time of year, like, especially if I'm doing top water action, at least for me, I'm more comfortable in the cleanest water that I can find. But that doesn't always mean you're going to get bit. And I landed on them. I mean, the very first cast I caught one, and then I got several bites, and then I lost a really good one. Then I caught a good one. But then I made a move, and then I was fishing on the opposite side of you. I didn't even see you guys. Yeah. And I hit a stretch where I literally got a bunch of bites and caught a really good quality fish. But that was short-lived. And my thoughts were after that was to try to replicate. So I wanted to go back and try to fish as absolute shallow as I could at the very backs of the pockets. And it just wasn't going down. It was very, like you said, with that grass deal, it was very specific area of the lake in the creek, like it, midway back type deal. But I thought you had a really good theory today. And this is, for the group, like if you're fishing, anytime you're fishing, I'm
pretty confident what you're about to say is exactly what went down.
It's really important. It's not only important to look at the weather for the day that you're going to go fishing, but it's important to take a look at maybe the last few days of weather. And you guys can do that on the Deep Dive app. So go get that subscription. You can rewind and see what the weather looked like maybe that week prior, because wind and water clarity, wind is a huge deal for bait movement, right? And so we figured out, Pete said it out loud. He was like, I think they're butting on this side of the lake because the last few days the wind has been coming from the opposite direction, pushing bait up there, and the fish just didn't leave. They stayed, even though the wind was the opposite for today, the bait was still there. It didn't push all the bait out of there. And so that was spot on. You could run that pattern on the lake and get bit. Anything outside of that was not happening besides the grass bite, right?
Yeah, was the only other bite. Docks
I think
happening, like, it was wild.
Yeah. I mean, I flipped jigs. I threw wacky worms. I threw all sorts of different like finesse baits. I did pick some off with a minnow, but they were all rats. They were all little fish. So really, truly, like when you ran, and so here's how I would attack that. If I was fishing a tournament, for the audience, if you're going to fish a tournament like that and you're like, dude, I only legitimately have 2 areas, you have to rotate those areas. Like, let them rest, go fish new water, come back to them an hour later, and do that all over. And actually, Pete and I, the last time we fished a tournament up there, it's exactly what we did, and we got bit every time. I'm not saying that would have worked, but it did work, by the way, because I went back and I did catch more fish out of those areas, but it was so specific. So that bassresource.com says stay on the move, ultra shallow, ultra deep, could catch them anywhere. But today was one of those days where, like, and the other thing that was different for me, usually you can get away with throwing like a plopper style bait like whatever, a whopper plopper or a chapo or a mock, whatever it's called, or the clicking chicken, you name it, right? They got a bunch of different ones. But today I changed my plopper style bait 4 times before I really started connecting. And I think it had to do with profile and the noise of the bait itself. So it was very specific for me. And then later on in the day, when the wind picked up, I switched it again and went to a bigger profile with a louder noise, and then I got bit. So paying attention to the weather, paying attention to what the weather looked like for the last week, you can do all that on your Deep Dive app. And it's a great way to, and you'll get your feelings hurt this time of year too, man. You really will. But that being said, it was still a great day to get out there on the water.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
What else do we got?
We got any lands on heads. So they already did the coin flip, Chris. They did it like about a month ago for next year, so it's already been determined. But yeah, they had like a yes forward facing, no forward facing side, and whichever one it landed on, that was the
and that's for Bassmaster Elites.
That was just for the Elite Series. Well, yeah, and then for the Opens, I think they flipped a coin for which division they were going to start with, and then they went yes, no, and then it just carried to the other division. Yep. Yes, no, yes, so.
And I think the only thing that's not determined, unless I'm wrong, you guys let me know, is the EQs. Did they say which of those events are?
I think that comes later.
Yeah, I don't think they did yet. Yep, I don't think they did EQs yet.
Yep.
Did you guys see? I don't know how you vote on it, but Bassmaster's asking fans to rank the top Bassmaster events ever.
Best Bassmaster event ever.
Well, yeah, rank the greatest memories. So, like, here's the list that people can choose from. 1967 Beaver Lake. That's the first bass tournament.
I wasn't born.
Yeah, that was race cars. 71 Classic. Bob Murray wins first Classic at a mystery lake. That's when they didn't tell the anglers which lake they were going to. 1984 Classic. Rick Clunn sets the record weight, delivers a little greenfish speech with 2 future presidents on stage.
He had Clinton and who else?
I assume Bush.
Yeah, Bush.
George W. The elder
senior.
Yeah. 89 Classic. Hank Parker wins when Jim Bitter drops the potential winning fish.
Ooh, that sucks.
That's a choke job. 1990 Classic. Clunn won his 4th Classic, climbing from 10th on the final day. 94 Classic. Brian Kirchhoff becomes the only nation winner. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
1988 Mega Bucks. Larry Nixon wins. Famous opening clip for Bassmasters. 2001.
Oh my God, look at that bass.
Look at that bass.
Look at that bass.
2001 Florida Top 150. Do you guys know what happened with this one? We talked about it.
I don't remember.
Dean Rojas sets a single day record.
Oh, yeah. He had like 40. Yeah. Yep.
2006 Amstad. Ish Monroe wins first ever Elite. That was the first Elite with 104 pounds. 2008 Falcon Lake. You remember this one?
It's like
I don't remember
50 pounds of bass.
Elias sets the record with 132 pounds, 8
Yeah.
ounces. And then okay, there's just a few more. 2014 Gunnersville Classic. Randy Howell comes back from 11th. And then Mueller has 32.3, the biggest bag in a classic. 2015 Chesapeake. Aaron Martins waits out the tide, catches winning 7-5 at the dock.
Bro.
2016 St. John's Elite. That's when Klun won there as the oldest. And then
On a
2019 Elite, Klun won again as the oldest. And he had that 34-pound. He had 2 10-pounders and a 34-pound bag. 2020 Lake Fork. That's when Patrick Walters had the largest margin of victory.
That didn't last.
Yeah, it didn't last.
Kyle Welcher, didn't he?
Well, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
last one on here. 2025 is Passatank. Welcher wins by 45
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah.
Bro.
And so just the other 3 that are in 2022 St. Lawrence Elite, that's when Jay was the youngest win. He was the first ever all smallmouth century belt. 2000 last year, 2024 Fork, when McKinney was just a pound and a half shy of an all-time weight, and all 10 of the got century belts. And then the classic was when this last year when Easton comes back from brain surgery that sets the all-time weight record.
Bro,
There's
I just
Go
went
ahead.
back and looked at. I just for curiosity, I went back.
Oh,
and looked at that 2008 on Falcon.
I missed one. I missed the 2000 Louisiana Delta Classic.
That was Ike one.
No,
Wasn't
Kevin Van Dam sets the classic weight record.
Oh, that's right. But anyway, I went back and looked at the Falcon Lake from 08 where he caught that 130.32.8.
Mm-hmm.
You know what second place had?
I don't remember.
132 pounds and 4 ounces. Imagine catching
Oh my
132 pounds and 4
And you're
ounces
second.
of bass, and you finish second by 4 ounces. Like, bro.
Tim said Tim said Roland Martin 1994 Connecticut River wins bass tracker jet
I forgot
boat
when he
win.
brought the jet boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when they had to change the rules.
That was when they changed the rules that you could only use one boat for the year. Yep.
Look,
I forgot all
that's
about
one of
that.
those. That's one of those things. I don't know if I admire, or maybe I respect. Like we've talked about, there's a fine line in like blatantly cheating with the rules, like getting information and buying waypoints and stuff, and then being like, well, this isn't. It doesn't say I can't change boats.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that was kind of the debate with the Poche when he jumped the little dam there down at Fork or whatever
So-
it was.
All right.
Top 12 at that fork or that that was back when Falcon was really the top 12 had century belts.
10-4,
Just
Tim.
insane.
All right, so since you brought all those up, Ben, I'm gonna ask you, and you don't have to pick any of those, by the way. But if you were gonna pick just the Bassmaster Elite Series, in your opinion, and what do you think is the coolest, most memorable tournament that you watched?
That I've watched.
Yeah, because I mean, none of us were born before '84.
And look, none of us
So-
actually watched anything before live stream. So like,
No.
let's be, but that we remember. I guess that we remember. I mean, that 2019 Clun one was pretty.
St.
That's
John's
the one.
River.
Let's see here. Is that the? Yeah, I got it. I got the signed magazine.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's freaking awesome, dude. I didn't know you had that.
yeah. I got that one that he signed for me. He signed. I guess he signed. I guess they used to do baseball cards
I like the baseball cards. I think those are so cool, man.
or whatever this is. 1991. And then I guess I never really ever shown this one off. But that's when he caught a 6-pounder in a tournament on one of my jigs, the old school
Oh,
jigs.
that's sweet.
Yeah, he had never stopped to take a picture during the tournament, but he did for that one.
That's
But
super awesome.
That was it might have been a Bassmaster Open. It wasn't an elite event. It was early in the year before they started. So I don't.
What was he throwing? Was he throwing green pumpkin or blue oyster cult or what?
No, that was the what did I call that? It was that
Carolina
brown
Nighthawk?
one.
Oh, the craw?
What did I call that?
I don't know.
Which one? Is it the brown with the orange?
Yeah, I've got some right here. The Bourbon Street Craw.
That was it.
Bourbon Street craw.
Yeah,
Clun. That you should put that up on the Clun. Put at least one up there so you know exactly what jig, because obviously he probably still has the jig. But that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I never really said or anything that talked to.
You should have said, "Give me that jig back."
I know. Well, like I'd never put anything on social media or like used it for any advertising, anything, because he has his sponsors and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's retired now, so maybe I should take that picture.
Hit him up and be like, "I want my jig back, dude."
Set it up at the expos and all.
Yeah.
So
Pete, okay, so you're going 2019 St. John's River, right?
Yeah, that's
spinnerbait action. Pete,
what's your a big part of that one is because he caught those 34 pounds on like day 3 or something.
Yeah,
it
was a great tournament. If you guys haven't seen it, you can go back and watch it on Bassmaster and their YouTube channel. I think pretty confident it's on there. I know you can at least watch the replay.
Yeah, you can.
So, Pete, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be one of those on that list. I mean, what would you consider like maybe your favorite tournament that you either witnessed or there was?
Yeah, my favorite one was the 2005 Bassmaster Classic on the Three Rivers of Pittsburgh, where I was growing up. Got to go as a kid. Kevin Van Dam won with a whopping 5 days or 3 day total of 12 pounds and 15 ounces. Averaged 4 pounds a day over 3 days to capture that. Couple things there, him and Aaron battled it out, which was super cool to see. I always respected those guys as a kid growing up. And then just to have them in the hometown. What sucked was we had like 1,000-year flood the fall before that because of a hurricane, and it completely changed that river system, and it wasn't a very good showing, and it sucks. I wish they would go back. Because 12 pounds now in a local tournament's not even gonna get you a check. So it sucks that it was what it was, but it was kind of one of those grinders like Trey loves. You had to be super finessey. I don't know what happened to the big fish when that occurred, but I don't know if it washed them all down, if it killed them. But it was a dink fest, a grindy dink fest. Ike and Ellie got his boat stuck so bad they had to bring him another boat, and he had to get into that and run it. And while they unstuck his boat, there was a lot going on at that derby, but it was just cool to have it, in the town where I grew up watching it. Never really thought it was something we would see there. And then going into the Civic Arena, which is where the Penguins played, and doing the weigh-in in there and seeing, we were there when Van Dam won. My dad had just had surgery, something with his leg, so he was in a wheelchair. So they literally let us go to the handicap section. So we were literally at the stage basically when he won that, seeing the weigh-in and stuff. So that was super cool. So that one's obviously special to me.
Wow, what a convenient time for your dad to hurt his leg.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, so the common theme here is like personal connections between what Ben is talking about with Rick Clun. Rick Clun obviously caught a giant on one of the one cast fishing jigs, and then obviously Ike winning in hometown area. And mine's the same. I didn't really watch bass when I was growing up. If you were to only limit me to the list, I would say the Brian Kirchhoff one is in my opinion is super awesome.
I'm with you.
But
on that, Tim, you're absolutely right. Ray Scott did keep calling him the burger flipper because he was working at a ground round as a grill, as a cook, up to that point. So he kept calling him the burger flipper when he would come up to weigh in.
Yep.
Go ahead, Trey. Sorry.
So mine is pretty recent. And I'm not a traitor to the country, but mine is when Gussie won, and we were at the Classic. Mm-hmm. I've only been to one Bassmaster Classic. I thought it was super cool. We didn't even get to see the weigh-in because we were working the show and stuff, but I thought that was really awesome to see.
Yep.
Gussie win on the Classic on a lake that he had won the year before for a regular season Elite Series event. And to do it with only 2 or 3 fish on the last day, and be the first Canadian to win a Bassmaster Classic. I just thought it was super cool. And I think the coolest part, not the coolest part, was like we had us down there. Your dad was down there. Who else went with it? Chelsea was down there. Like we had the whole crew. We met so many cool people.
Larry was there. He came over to hang out.
Yeah. Larry Reed was there. We were hanging out with John Cruz and his crew at Missile. It was a really special event, and I would say most memorable. And from the fishing side of the house, the cool thing was too is everyone gave Gussie the room that he needed, and they didn't try to snake him at all.
Yeah, he had 2 fish on the bottom day. You're right.
2 fish, 2 smallmouth. So
now,
that's
not true. On the final day.
Oh, that's right. There was drama
because after day,
that's right. You're right.
2, on one of the days, I forget who it was too. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, there was somebody, because Gussie was basically the only one really doing that, if I remember correctly.
He was, and somebody did whole shark on and was sitting on his stuff when he got there, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
If one that I don't have any personal connection to that I've watched a few times is Lee Livesey's on his home lake when he catches that.
Oh yeah,
was it 40 pounds, the second biggest bag ever?
No way.
It's so cool because he's throwing big spoons and big baits,
plugs, and
he knows they're there, and it's all on live. So you're to be able to watch all that was
I
cool.
mean that Lee, I mean, it's crazy too because like everybody thinks like Lee's gonna win when he goes to Fork, or at least be in contention.
Well, the last 2
he literally has had his worst tournaments ever on that lake, but he's won on that lake so much. But I thought that was cool, Ben, what you're talking about. The last time I seen him when he won out there, like he had his boat tied off to one of the pieces of standing timber. Like he didn't have power poles down because it was too deep. He literally, I think he was running that ballistic boat or something. Yeah, I can't remember what he was running.
Yep.
And he literally had his rope wrapped around the tree multiple times, tied off to his cleat. I think he even had his trolling motor up, or maybe not. And he's bombing like a big old like plug and just catching it. Yeah, it was awesome, dude. That was super cool. That was cool. Like Jason Christie, cool when Christie won the Sabine and making those crazy long runs and, just to get into a backwater area down there in I think he was in Louisiana, or he could have been in Texas.
Has somebody won the Sabine over in Houston?
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's always a cool story too, because like you have to get out in Galveston Bay with your bass boat.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody did win back in the day.
There's been really cool victory, and obviously we're just talking about bass, but I mean, I'm sure there's really. I mean, I thought it was really cool this year when Defoe won up at the Potomac. That was really cool. If you guys haven't seen his YouTube video, or it might have been a Strike King series or something, I can't remember, but the way he won up there was super awesome. And it wasn't like exciting from like a moving bait perspective. He was catching them all on a freaking wacky worm pretty much, but like just the way that it unfolded for him was super awesome. So, but yeah, there's definitely some really cool tournaments out there. That's the stuff that I wish Bass would go behind. And like
another one that I remember, where was it at? That I thought was a cool event. Yeah, 2018. I asked AI. The Cooper River at Charleston Harbor down in South Carolina. Because like those guys were making 100-mile-an-hour runs.
100-mile runs, yeah.
Or more. Yeah, it was Cooper River, Wandoo River, Charleston Harbor. I mean it was one of those that was pretty expansive.
Tim brought this up. An odd win was Tim Horton ordering pizza. That was another good one. He literally was like, "I'm done for the day." Went back to the dock.
That's always been my dream. On
Yeah,
That's
Florida.
right.
been one of my favorites, dude. When he went back and ordered a pizza.
You know what's funny though is he that tournament is like in all of our heads, because I can't tell you how many times we always say this, like, yeah, if we go out there and crack like 25 pounds, we're going back to the ramp and ordering pizza. You know, like he has become like a staple phrase in the tournament world. I can't. So many people say that. I'm just going to go back and order pizza. You know, so
Somebody ordered
that was
pizza
definitely
this
not
year,
one.
too on one of the Texas tournaments. I don't think
Now,
they were.
now you can DoorDash it.
Yeah.
DoorDash it to the ramp. I asked AI what their top 20 are.
Yeah, we're at an hour, so we get wrapping up. I got my parents in town. Go spend some time with them. But you know, if you have any questions, post them up. We'll give it another minute.
Ben, what did AI say number
AI
one was at least?
AI runs through.
Oh, they did it. He ranked them. He did 1 through 20 based upon years. So,
okay.
number 1 was the first one. What are some big different ones? 75. There was a hurricane force winds hit the Currituck Sound. Let's see where some more Clun stuff. Mark Davis, smallmouth on Kentucky Lake.
Hang on, I got to kick somebody out of my garage.
Somebody's in
Yeah,
charge.
we're going over too. They're almost the same. They've got Taku Ito's historic win on there.
Oh yeah, that was a good one
Flipping
too.
a 10-pounder.
Yep.
Taku's in the final 27 minutes caught 10 pounds of fish to clinch the classic. That was 2004. They got Jordan Lee's home state double, won back-to-back classics.
His heavy.
2021 Live Scope's game-changing debut. That's what
gosh.
Grok put up there as one of the top memories in over the last 20 whatever years. Yeah.
Heck
All
yeah,
right.
dude. Well, hey, listen, I'm gonna get off here. I gotta fish a tournament tomorrow up at Bugs Island. Should be a grimy one. I'm gonna lock like one bait in my hand all day and see how we fare out. But it's definitely been fun talking about those memories. Head on over and see all those partners that are scrolling across the bottom of the screen, like we talked about. Holding the One Cast Fishing Snagless swim jig right here with a Nighthawk on it. It's a deadly combination. And appreciate everyone joining us. Ben, Pete, you got anything for the group?
No, sir.
Ben?
Good to go.
All right, Pete, sign us off here. Thanks everyone for joining us on this Fishing Friday Live. We hope you guys have a great weekend and help us to continue growing the culture of English, helping anglers one cast at a time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Yeah. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.